Welcome back to New Gondwanaland. I am Dan Bear Pig, leader of the Carbon Liberation Front, and this is CarbonCraft. If you missed last episode, you missed a really fun one. I upgraded to the netherite gear that you see right now, experienced my first raid of pillagers and fended that off with my stepdaughter Yellow Sunshine Revenge, dug a tunnel through the nether all the way to a brand new island, and also dispersed loot from our first expedition into the nether. I also forgot to include my fancy new overlay that reminds you, the viewer, to like and subscribe, but I'm not forgetting that this time. If you've been with this series for a while, you're probably thinking, hey Dan, there's a project you're forgetting that we've been looking forward to which I respond, no, I haven't forgotten anything, you shut your mouth. That's why I'm here right now, where I'm going to build this spawn castle. It's totally normal for a server not to have a spawn castle for almost a year and a half, right? That's normal. Don't worry about it. Stop asking questions. I have 3 goals in this episode. Goal number 2, gather a ton of resources in the nether, because I have an idea of how I want to build this spawn castle, and I'm going to get it started today. That's goal number 3. Goal number 1 is to go to the end and gather enough shulker shells that I can actually store the resources that I gather. So let's start there. Oh, hello, pig. By now I'm sure you've seen plenty of end raids, so I'm not going to bore you by showing you the whole thing, but I do think I have something unique to offer on this one. Plus, I just can't resist bringing along my ReplayMod camera crew, so I'm going to show you just this very small end city. Just about everybody these days is using the Vanilla Tweaks More Mob Heads loot tables, which are pretty great, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. Those were a pretty good guide for learning how to make loot tables myself, but as I've shown before, I have a huge variety of mob heads available on this server. I made a recent update to these loot tables, the biggest change of which is for the Shulkers. Instead of having a random chance to drop any color of shulker head, shulkers now come with colored shells and will only drop a head that is the same color as that shell. Ordinary shulkers have a chance to drop either the rare heads or a shulker mask, and that's what I've got on my head right now, which I was lucky enough to get very early on in this end raid. Once wearing this mask, shulkers in my vicinity have a random chance to become any of the 16 Minecraft colors, and then of course we'll drop their corresponding head color. It's interesting that it's possible to make colored shulkers in the vanilla game, but that it's not actually implemented. My guess is that they implemented the feature but then didn't actually utilize it because it wouldn't match the color scheme of the end, which is very decidedly purple. But I decided this would be a really fun thing to do to set my server and my Let's Play apart from others. I hope you watching this video feel the same way. Anyway, enough rambling. Watch as I expertly dispatch all the shulkers in this city. Okay, a couple of hours, 7 end cities, and an expedition to go and retrieve a shulker box full of loot that I had left in the final end city. Thank you to the ReplayMod for helping me to find that. And I am back with a ton of loot. Let's check out what I've got. There I've got 6 elytra because one of the end cities did not have an end ship. And here you see I have almost 2.5 stacks of shulker shells, so that'll translate into an entire stack of shulker boxes, assuming those would stack. I almost got a stack of diamonds as well. Regular stuff. And here are the colored shulker heads that I was talking about. I got quite a good haul on that trip. Okay, now that I can make all these new shulker boxes, it's time to head back into the Nether. And what I need is a ton of Blackstone and a ton of quartz. I actually already have plenty of quartz, so I'm mostly after the Blackstone now. And we'll see how much Basalt I get as well, because I have a plan for that too. I chose a Basalt delta to the north that will hopefully be far away from any potential community Nether builds. And once again, I got super lucky with the head drops, getting my first ever legendary head drop that you can see right there. I'll show you what that does later. The other reason I chose this Basalt Delta is that there is a Nether fortress buried within it, so if I clear this out, not only will I get a ton of Blackstone and a ton of Basalt, I'll also have prime real estate for building a Wither Skeleton farm later. But as you can see, this got increasingly dangerous as I went along, as I basically created a magma cube farm, which was good because it let me keep my pickaxes repaired. 8 hours later, and I can no longer keep my picks repaired because my netherite sword is giving out. Hey, ow, ow, stop it. You can see though, I've managed to clear out quite an area, and as I mentioned, unintentional magma cube farm. I don't have mending on my sword because the way that they've changed the way that experience works in 1.16, it prioritizes anything that needs mending, so I'm concerned that if I have a mending sword, it will significantly reduce the rate at which I can mend my other gear and gain levels. It wasn't such a big deal previous to 1.16, but we'll see how that works out. Let's get out of here. If I stay here any longer, my sword is going to break and I am going to get murdered. I'd rather not get murdered. Much better. I'm safe here and nobody can bother me. Let's take a look through all this loot. My main goal is Blackstone, and as you can see here, I got just about 5 shulker boxes full. Secondary goal, Basalt, and I got over 18 shulker boxes full. Here's a little bit of overflow. Various other nether drops, such as magma cream, of course, boring netherrack, and then the really interesting stuff, such as the heads. I mentioned already the legendary drop, which I got, but I also got a ghast head, some magma cube heads, some magma cube masks, lava golems, and Surtur. Now, Surtur, of course, is from Thor Ragnarok. I really should add some flavor text to this, so that means I need to do some research. And honestly, even though I'm the one that set up this loot table, I don't remember everything that this guy does. I think there's some fire resistance, but the thing that I do know is I look really cool wearing it. Check that out. This was really kind of a test of particles and learning those commands, and this is really fun. Look at that, just leaving a trail of flame. Yeah, fear me. Fear me, mortal. Okay, fun and games aside, I think I have enough Blackstone at least to get started on the castle. I've spent some time off camera in a creative world version of this seed, and I think I have a design that I really like, and I hope you guys will be pleased with it too, but I am definitely open to feedback. I'm going to put this away because Ironically, it is not impervious to fire and lava damage the way that netherite gear is, and I really don't want to lose it. But I will meet you at the castle site, and let's get started on this castle. And finally, at long last, here it is, the start of the castle. And I hadn't intended to actually build that much of the cliff yet, but I got really into the groove and it was turning out way better than I was expecting on my first try, so I just kept going. But as you can see, there is a lot more to do, so there's going to be a lot of off-camera work in between episodes here. Where tons of people are making builds with nothing but the new Nether blocks, and that was never my intention, but this took long enough to get to that we ended up with these incredible Blackstone blocks, which are my new favorite in the entire game. I was expecting it to be the Basalt, and I really like the Basalt, but this Blackstone is just incredible. And as far as I'm concerned, it's Basalt bricks. I just keep flying around and looking at this thing. Let's get a look at it from over here where the village is. Yeah, that's going to look really cool, imposing on this hillside here, on this cliff. So obviously this is a work in progress, and I think my favorite thing about these scaffolding blocks isn't using them as scaffolding, but building the scaffolding and having it look like a work in progress construction site, because that just looks epic in my opinion. Let me know what you think. There will be walls in between these 4 towers, of course, and I'm going to build those mostly out of quartz bricks, but there will also be more framework of Blackstone. And for now, I'm not going to add any noise, any cracked bricks or anything like that. I'm going to just build this out and then see what more noise is needed afterwards. If you look really closely here, especially if you saw at night, there's a subtle glow. I've hidden some sea pickles behind this waterfall so that it will slightly glow at night. And I might tweak that. I might see if I can make that work even better, but I think this looks really great. This cliff is inspired by cliffs that I saw on my honeymoon in Iceland, as well as cliffs that I've seen in Idaho in the United States, along the Snake River Plain. So yes, this is going to continue all the way along this river, and within reason, along this coast. Essentially making this into a custom biome. But yeah, that's going to take quite a while. Let's get another view of this here. My little workshop there. You can see I kept getting pillager patrols, and then I would forget that I had Bad Omen, head back to that village, and end up in a raid. But with the experience from last episode, it was hardly any trouble at all to take care of those raids. The sun is going down, and I can't resist one more look. Alright, before the sun goes all the way down, I'm going to head back into this base here, and there's one more thing that is absolutely essential that I need to do, that I can't believe I neglected and forgot about last episode. I mean, this is far more important than anything else that has happened here. In my opinion, serious dedication should come after you wear out the netherite hoe, but here we go. And I'm going to use it too. As I head back to take one more look at this castle, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I welcome feedback. This is, so far, possibly the best build that I've done, but I have a lot to learn about all of this. And part of the problem as I'm researching this is every time I look up new castles, I have a new idea of exactly what I want to build. And I do have a couple of reference pictures that I'm using for inspiration, but this is going to be essentially an entirely original castle. And I don't have an interior planned yet, so that is going to be the real challenge there. But yes, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. This channel has grown immensely just in the time it has taken me to make this video. I've gotten, I think, a quarter of my current subscribers in the last 3 weeks. So thank you, everyone who's new. Go check out some of the older videos if you haven't already. I'm quite pleased with how this channel has been going so far, and I intend to continue getting better and better at both Minecraft and video making. And feedback, of course, is always welcome. Between now and the next video, I have a lot of grinding to do to continue to that basalt cliff. I'm halfway out of all that basalt that I gathered in the Nether this episode. And I also have a lot of work to do on my data packs to get them ready for 1.16.2 and to further develop some of the ones that I haven't showcased yet. I have a lot of cool ideas, but it's going to take some time, and I really want to get into the new custom dimensions and custom biomes and figure out how to do that. That's going to take a bit, and all the while I've got a lot of home improvement projects to do in real life, so hopefully it won't be too long before the next video. I'm going to be hard at work. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.